I don't think the Roland TD25 is worth buying right now. None of the three versions. Hey, what's up? Justin here, welcome to 65 Drums. Now, the TD25 used to be a really cool drum set, especially because there wasn't much competition. The Roland TD25 KV and K were the best options for $2,000 to $2,500. But then Roland came out with a brand new product, the TD17. So when Roland released the TD17 line, a lot of us were excited about it because it's a solid drum set. I'm not a big fan of the TD17 KL version because it's still got the rubber toms, but the TD17 KV and KVX are really solid drum sets. So me and a bunch of other people are at this event, and it's really cool. Roland showing off all the different features that it has. There's some live demonstrations, and it became clear to a lot of us very quickly that the TD25 was becoming irrelevant. But before we could really think that, oh, they're going to replace the TD25, they quickly announced that they were, adding another drum set to the TD25 lineup, the Roland TD25 KVX. So that sort of cements in place that the TD25 isn't going to be replaced yet, and right away we saw Roland started slashing prices. Their $2,000 drum set became a $1,800 drum set. And then I see on sweetwater.com that they're actually including a free TM2 drum module if you buy a TD25K. They're having to do a lot of different promotions like this and combine them together just to move these units off the showroom floors. And the main reason why they're having to do all these different promotions is this drum set right here. It's not from Alesis, it's not from Yamaha, it's from Roland themselves. So I've been talking in general broad terms, but let's actually take a look at the three versions of the TD25 line, and I'll explain why I don't really think any of them are worth buying at the moment unless there's a major price shift. So the first one, the Roland TD25K, it costs $1,800. It comes with one less crash cymbal. It comes with a smaller snare drum. This one is only like 10 inches across versus the 12-inch snare over here. I will say that the TD17 one doesn't have positional sensing, and the Roland one on the TD25K does. But when you have positional sensing on a 10-inch playing surface, I don't really know if that makes much of a difference. The other upgrade is the drum rack. It's a hair better than the one on the TD17. All right, so let's jump ahead to the next version, the TD25 KV. It costs $2,500, and it's really hard to justify that $800 jump from the TD17 KVX. I will say that it has the nicer drum rack. This is the next tier up. It also has nicer tom pads. I hate that stupid inner plastic rim on all these Roland pads on the TD17 KVX, but it's not as big of a deal, especially judging from the price. But apart from those two things, the better drum rack and the better tom pads, there's not really much going for this version. Obviously, it has positional sensing on the snare. You may or may not like the sounds of the TD25 versus the TD17. That's more of a personal taste thing. I really don't see why you would spend an extra $800 on the TD25 KV. That's just me. Then of course, the final version is the TD25 KVX. And I don't know what Roland is trying to do with this drum set, but for me, it just seems like they're putting a stake in the ground saying, the TD25 is still a part of our lineup. We're not trying to abandon it. And of course, I got a chance to play this, and I have some mixed feelings about it. As an overall drum set, it's very fun to play. Of course, the big crowd pleaser here is the fact that it has an 18-inch kick drum. This is the KD180, and this whole drum set is very fun to play. The snare is the second upgrade. This thing is ripped straight from a Roland TD30 KV. And overall, great drum set. The price, though, is $4,000. Is this kit worth $4,000? It's really hard to justify that. I felt like when I was playing it, the one thing holding it back was the fact that they were using a TD25 drum module. When you have pads of this quality and a drum module of that caliber, you need a drum module that gives you more flexibility, more sounds, more kits. I just felt like that drum module didn't fit with the pads that they put it on. And I'm definitely not trying to say it's a bad drum set. This is a great drum set. But if it was like $3,000, it would be more easy for me to say, hey, go buy this thing. That $4,000 is just a little bit too expensive for me. And now I know it's easy to make statements like this, like you should have done this, you should have done that, but it's harder to actually run a division of electronic drums in person. I get that, but it just makes sense logically that you would upgrade your most expensive drum set line first, which they did. They went from TD30 to TD50, and then it just makes sense you would go down and upgrade the TD25 to a TD35. And then you would go down and upgrade the TD11 to the TD17. And then you would go down again and upgrade the TD1 to the TD2. That just makes sense. What happened when they released the TD17 line before releasing a successor to the TD25 was they made the TD17 line on par with the next step up. So for the people that went and bought a TD25 KV for $2,500, and the very next day Roland unleashes a bunch of new drum sets that are pretty much on par, but they're like $800 less, that made those people a little bit upset, and I completely understand that. So of course we're on the outside looking in at this point. So we don't know why they made the TD17 first. Maybe they did it on purpose, or maybe there was a logistical reason and they had to release the TD17 first. We don't really know. All I know is that the end result is that the TD17 line is a great value, the TD25 line is overpriced, and none of the three versions are really worth buying, even though they've dropped the price on the cheapest one and they've included free drum modules. It doesn't really make any sense even with all those incentives. And by the way, if you have a Roland TD25 drum set, I'm not trying to throw shade on your purchase. I'm just saying if I was going to drive to a Guitar Center or a Sam Ash tonight and buy a drum set, it wouldn't be a TD25 KV, it would be a TD17 KVX. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Really interested to read your thoughts on this. Have an amazing day, and thank you especially to the people on Patreon who help make these videos possible. See you guys in a few.